Hey, this is Kristen with Collision Hub, and we are at the ASA headquarters in Bedford, Texas. And we're going to talk a little bit today about a lot of things, but we're going to talk about the committees. We're going to talk about NACE. And right now we've got Denise Caspersen with us, and we're going to talk about the Collision Operations Committee.
Great.
And kind of, your role and the role of the committee and some of the great works that the Operations Committee is doing. So real quick, let's just tell me a little bit about your story, how you got here.
Okay, I'd love to. I originally started working with ASA as a research specialist probably 14 years ago. I have a background in statistics and analysis and was hired to become kind of the answer person for the association. One of the initial goals was to make sure that we were a information resource and a database for the industry. So I did market analysis and surveys and collected, we probably have one of the largest article archives in our industry. So I gained a great amount of knowledge over 8 years by doing that kind of stuff. And then about 6 years ago, I became the Collision Division Manager, which when we talk about our collision industry, a lot of people like people from the industry to represent them. I was fortunate in that I came with knowledge, but not practical application, and was mentored by individuals like Jerry Burns, Daryl Damberson, Dan Bailey, Mike Anderson, Mike Schoonover. So some of the top leaders in our industry have actually framed my thoughts and abilities within the community. So I'm very grateful for that.
Now, those are all names that I recognize from the Collision Operations Committee. We had the chance last year to kind of broadcast one of the Operation Committee meetings, which was my first time to be involved with that. And I was kind of noticing that in that room, everyone is actually a repairer. There's no vendors. There's no other representation on the Operations Committee other than independent repairers.
Right, and thanks for saying that. I think that also helps ASA a lot and our membership. Our membership is repair businesses, both mechanical and collision. That's our composition. So what I feel fortunate about, and I think what ASA is fortunate about, is all our actions, motivations, and goals are directed by repairers, leading repairers of various sizes. They could be a single shop owner, or they could be a consolidated shop owner, so they can go from a 1 million or smaller business up to 15 million. But the whole composition of the Operations Committee is repairers, yes. Mm-hmm. Leading outstanding repairers.
Right. It was kind of a room of who's who. I mean, there was, Daryl Albertson was there, and, Mike Anderson was on one side, and it was kind of a nice little collection of kind of the brains of the industry coming together.
And that's a great point, too, and I'm so sorry for interrupting, but that's a great point, too, because the repairers, not are they varied in their shop size, but they're also varied in their location throughout the United States. Mm-hmm. And this year we have Stacy Bartnick's on our team and Virginia Duncan's on our team, replacing a dear friend of mine, Paul Duncan, her husband, who recently passed away. And then we also have Dan Standers, our team lead. And then we have Scott Benavides out of New Mexico, Mike Lavasser out of Pennsylvania, and Mike Schoonover out of Minnesota. And so we have such a variety of gentlemen and ladies on our team.
You've done CICA, you've done CIC, and you've been in those rooms where there's lots of different various segments of the industry represented on a committee, and then you go to the ASA Ops Committee, and it's one particular segment of the industry represented on that committee.
Right.
Do you feel those committees work differently or accomplish goals in different ways because of the singularity of representation there?
That's a great question. They are different. Their focus is sometimes different. In various groups, as I mentioned before, where there are more industry segments represented, the dialogue is often different because the goals are different within the individual. Right. Their purpose is different. Their reason for being there is different. And when I'm being a part of the Collision Operations Committee discussions, it's all repairer focused.
Right.
Each action is very, very much about the collision repair business and how the industry is affecting their business and how can they go forward.
So the Ops Committee is kind of addressing some elephants in the room, so to speak, in our industry. And you're touching on several big things. Just kind of a short list of some of the things the Operations Committee is working on right now.
Thanks for asking. The Operations Committee currently has several big pieces. For the last 3 years, we've been focused on repair standards in conjunction with other organizations, we also have been doing our analysis and talking to the repairers on what are their thoughts regarding repair standards as a whole. How does this circumvent or be a part of shop licensing? Is it a better alternative to go down this particular route? How would this impact the various sizes of businesses? How does this, in the most positive way, benefit the consumers? And then how do you take an example is the Thatcham model, which is in England, and rather small market, and expand that to something that is over 35,000 in population? So how would you do that?
Right.
So those discussions are quite fulfilling, very intense, and it's nice to be a part of the repair standards group in the Collision Industry Conference also, because what I'm getting from my team is completely repair spoken. And when I go to the repair standards group, now it's an amalgamation of corporate staffers. And so I'm bringing the repair piece to the table, and then you have corporate staffers discussing right. how they would implement such a thing. So that's
one of the pieces I noticed last year, sitting in your meeting, is you guys work a lot on estimating and what yeah. is or isn't allowed in estimating, yeah. or what should and shouldn't be kind of paid for, and you release a lot of guides to kind
right.
of help people go. And you just, I think here within the last week, released another kind of updated guide.
We did, shops. And I'm very proud of that. That is the ASA Not Included charts, and that's been in process for 10 years. And what the original goal was is to create a quick reference guide of all the three major estimating systems of what's not included. So every 2 years, we hire an outside third party to review and analyze the databases, and then the estimating team, under currently the leadership is Mike Anderson, mm-hmm.
reviews
and edits and makes recommendations, and then we place that out to the industry.
He's just phenomenal. I don't think that I've spent even 5
right.
minutes with him that I haven't learned something.
Right.
He's a phenomenal teacher and always shares something that makes me better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate him too.
So
yeah.
You've got the How's Your Business Report. You've got this phenomenal committee this year.
Yeah.
What's the committee got in store for 2011?
Okay, so we have some great things in store. We're going to continue on our standards pieces, and we're also going to be back on Capitol Hill. I'm excited about that, May 9th through the 11th.
Yeah, we're coming with you.
That's great. I don't know if we're going to have a team meeting, but if we do,
yeah.
we'll certainly be invited. So we're going to be back on Capitol Hill to discuss various legislative items, and along with the mechanical team, and that's during our ASA annual convention in Washington, D.C. So we're looking forward to that. We're still monitoring federal regulation. That is not through. We're also continuing to be a part of the EPA discussion on 6H. That's currently going on. And we're also continuing the part certification piece that was happening through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Right.
So we're going to continue on all of those things. Yeah. So another piece that we're going to be working on is the OEM, communicating better with the OEMs. Okay. Recently at NACE we met with the OEM Roundtable, and the conversation from the repairers was one on parts availability. There was a concern last year with the economic downturn that parts would not be available.
Right.
There's been mixed interpretations of that. So we're going to continue to kind of discuss OEM parts availability within the community. And the other piece that was highlighted was a conversation on OEM position statements. We're going to try to find a way to better organize those for the repairer. They're all available within the OEM websites in various locations. So I'm working closely with Chris Karras, and I appreciate Chris very much in finding a way to kind of consolidate those so that the repairers will be able to centrally house them. That's a great way to put it. So that the repairers can go to a location, download what they need, attach those to their estimates to better restate why they're making the choices that they're making on behalf of their consumer.
Awesome. Well, we're going to let you get back to it, and we're going to spend some more time kind of walking around the office, meeting some more people, and talking about what ASA is doing.
Great.
Thanks, Denise.